Hi everyone, I just wanted to make this video nice and quick, show you how to generate that binary variable that I mentioned in an email that I sent out yesterday, as well as how to use the variables manager to add these value labels, which this we'll see next Wednesday why these can be helpful when we make plots, um, but they can still be useful for viewing the data even before we have plots. So I've just also, the print may look really small when you first open Stata as well as it does for me right now. One thing that you can do is if you right click within the different panes in Stata and use font, you can actually increase the size of the font. So I'll do that now so you guys have a better idea of what I'm typing exactly. And I'll drag this up. So just to throw in some data, you can use the command sysuse just to grab some uh, example data sets. You can also click on example data sets under file, and then these are a bunch of data sets that Stata includes for us to use. So I'll use this educ99gdp, which is what we were using in class. And if I click, or if I use the command browse, or I click that little magnifying glass up there, you can see my data here. Now, I'm going to generate a binary variable. So I'll use the command generate to create a new variable, and let's call it, like I did in the email, above 1. And I'm using an underscore there just because I don't want to use a space because variables cannot have any spaces in them. And then we'll say it's equal to, and then I can put anything in this parentheses, and if the statement inside the parentheses is true, then my variable is going to be equal to 1, and if it's not true, it's equal to 0. So for example, I could say if private is greater than 1, then above 1 is going to be equal to 1. So I'll hit enter, and you'll see I have this new variable called above 1, and whenever private is above 1, which is only in the case for the United States, then my variable above 1 is greater than 1. Uh, just to give you another example, I'll drop my variable and regenerate it. Say above 1 is equal to, now let's try it for public. You can say public is greater than or equal to. So this isn't just strictly above 1. This is greater than or equal to 1. And hit enter. And now I can see my new variable is generated above 1. And anytime that public is greater than or equal to 1, notice in the case of the Netherlands, it's exactly equal to 1. Then above 1 is 1. And when it's not greater than or equal to 1, then above 1 is 0. Now I can go into my variables manager and go to, if I look at my value labels, I see that I have none available yet. So I can go to manage and I can create a label. You can name the label whatever you'd like. So I'll just call it example to show you that it doesn't matter what you name it really. And then for the value of 1, I want it to have the label high, and I'll click add. And then if it has a value of 0, then let's give it the label low. So I've created two labels. If my variable is equal to 1, then for a specific observation, then instead of listing the number 1 for that observation, I'm going to say, instead of saying 1, let's just call it high. And instead of listing a 0, let's call it low. So then I can click OK. So I've created this new label, so you can see it's created using this command label define, and then it gives the name of the label is called example. For 1 it's high, for 0 it's low. And then for my variable above 1, I'm actually going to now assign the label that I've created. So I'll give it the example value label and hit apply. So now I've given this above 1 variable the value label that I just created. So I can exit out, and now if I go back, if I use browse and look back at the data again, which, sorry, it's still here on the right, you can see that wherever I had a 1, it now says high, and wherever I had a 0, it now says low. However, these are not string variables, so you can still do analysis on these. So for example, if I use the summarize command, actually let me rerun that with this in full screen so we get a better idea. You can see for country, which is a string variable, I don't get any mean, standard deviation, min, or max, but for above 1, this is still a numeric value, even though it's using words here. This high is technically still equal to 1, and this low is equal to 0. So I can see that for above 1, I can have a mean of 0.6, a min of 0, and a max of 1. So that's how you can create value labels. And then when we create graphs, instead of it using ones and zeros in the graphs, it'll actually say high and low, so that'll be nice for reading the data. I think that's all I wanted to cover. One little hint, also, if you have a binary variable, notice that the mean is also the percentage of ones that exist within the data. Because I have 10 observations and 6 of them have the value high, then 6 over 10 of them have the value high, so 60%. So you can see that the mean is actually the average, or is the percentage as well. Okay, that's everything I wanted to cover, and good luck on your presentations tomorrow.